Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. So our stock market recently fell a little bit, and for the last 1 week, even the US stock market has been falling. People are pointing to the fact that, hey, there is an upcoming recession and it could lead to severe crisis. For example, if you read headlines like these, JP Morgan has warned that stock market crash only half complete. Then some genius has said that, okay, recession 2024, this is the biggest stock market bubble since dot-com craze and markets will be down 40%. Then someone predicted, no, not 40%, 30% down market will go. That stuff, and everyone is tagging this to recession. So on this video, I'm going to do two things. Number one, I'm going to help you understand the reality by analyzing multi-decadal viewpoint data on recession and stock market performance. It will give you a better perspective on portfolio planning. Number two, I myself am converting my portfolio into a multi-asset portfolio allocation. What is the meaning of that? Why you should possibly look into that more are some of the key points that I will discuss. Now, one thing that will help us in the job market space is by learning about artificial intelligence. So for that, let me introduce you to the partners of today's video, which is Build School. Now, if you're someone who is looking to build AI apps and if you do not know coding, then you can definitely consider joining Build School Masterclass. This masterclass will teach you the frameworks to come with AI ideas to no code stack. You can build your own AI products, how to acquire the first 100 users for your product. And by applying these frameworks, you'll be able to build your own set of products. Now, this masterclass is being offered absolutely free of cost for the first 2,000 people who sign up using my link in the description and comment box. So definitely go and check it out. 300,000 people have already attended this masterclass and have learned how to develop AI related apps with no background in coding. They all came from different set of backgrounds, be it from finance, marketing, HR, ops, and everyone had some kind of relevant key takeaways and action points that they could execute once they had attended this masterclass. So in case you are interested, this masterclass is happening soon. You can check the links in the description and comment box and sign up using the link. Now, in case you are new to my channel, my name is Akshat Shrivastava. I am an industry practitioner. I run my hedge fund in Dubai. I work with a lot of HNIs, high ticket clients. I understand their wealth building investment strategies and whatever insights I'm learning by spending all my time on analyzing different investment landscape. I bring that knowledge to you via my YouTube channel, my courses, and other set of products that I have. In case you guys are interested to learn more about my work, I will link some of my work in the description and comment box. And the first key point that I will cover is the meaning of recession and its relationship to the stock market. Now, the meaning of recession is very simple, that if there is negative GDP growth for 2 quarters, it is generally considered to be a recession. Now, the point to be noted is that this is not negative GDP or deflation. This is different from GDP growth rate. For example, if typically the GDP growth rate is 7.5% this quarter, and next quarter it falls to 6.5%. So that's one period of slowdown. Then in the next quarter it falls to 6%. Then okay, that's another period of slowdown. So 2 consecutive periods of slowdown is considered to be recession. Now this is very different from negative growth rate. For example, if the GDP growth rate is -5% or -4%, now that is a cause of worry. So just because you read the term recession, it does not mean that सब कुछ खत्म होने वाला है types, right? So this is one very important point and the definition that I would like to introduce you. Now, this is something that I have pulled up, that if you consider from the US Civil War time, right, there have been 31 recession periods. Now, out of these 31 periods, there were 16 periods in the stock market which have been positive. So, are they positive mein rahe ki acha recession hua and the stock market was still positive, and then roughly like 15 periods are such where the recession hua and then the stock market corrected. So, through this macro data, we can pretty much conclude that just because recession aane wala hai, stock market gir jayega, that possibly is not a very smart way of looking at it. So let us now look at numbers कि अच्छा गिरेगा तो कितना गिरेगा, बढ़ेगा तो कितना बढ़ेगा. So for this is a very good data chart that you need to be aware of. This analyzes the data between 1950 and 2022. So now here, since 1950, the average year prior to the start of a recession, the S&P saw a drop of 4%, and Indian markets typically follow S&P, NASDAQ. So typically same रहते हैं. It's not as if exact correlation होता है, but between the Indian and the US market, the correlation is close to 80%, right? So this is one कि एक साल पहले ये हालत हो जाती है कि 4% गिर जाता है, right? I mean, it falls 4 years before recession actually is declared. Second key data point is that the average year after the formal end of recession, the market actually rises by 15.5%. This is the second very important data point. Third key point is that the average recession bottoms out to 21%. Drop after 169 days. जैसे 2008 में recession था, now there the markets corrected by 66.66%, right? So this was like a very severe crisis. ये recession भी नहीं बोलोगे, तो actually crisis थी, and there the market corrected by 66%. And then it took the market 4 years to recover back. So this is what is the scenario that people are scared of. Ki we are sitting in 2024 and abhi baat chal rahi hai recession ki. And if the market actually corrects, then what is like the drawdown that I'm looking at? Well, you're looking at a 21% average drawdown. And ye 21% bhi comprises of situations like these, jahan pe severe deep crisis also happens. So right now, sitting in 2024, you should not be worrying कि भाई साहब recession होने वाला है and सब बर्बाद हो जाएगा. Now 21% on an average fall is there. So what you should be doing as an investor, it's very simple that you should be preparing yourself to handle this crisis. This is a very important point, very important note that you should be aware of. Now this brings us to the second point that many of you would now be worrying कि यार you know what, अच्छा 21% correction भी तो होता है. So should we wait and for that 21% correction? And once we hit that 21% correction mark, we will buy stocks and, then maze hi maze. So we will try to time the recession. See, you cannot do it, but there are some indicators. For example, unemployment rate scenario. And agar aap usko analysis karoge, then maybe you will be able to get some idea. So that data also I'll analyze. So for example, here, if you check, this indicates the unemployment rate. अब होता क्या है कि 2-3 इंस्टेंसेस हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट फेल टू इट्स रीसेंट लो, राइट, एंड देन देयर वाज अ क्राइसिस. दिस वाज द .com बबल क्राइसिस, राइट. तो दिस वाज द .com क्राइसिस. दिस वाज 2008 कि यहाँ पे अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट वाज वेरी वेरी लो, राइट, एंड देन इट सडनली स्पाइक्ड अप बिकॉज उसके बाद एक तरीके का करेक्शन डिप्रेशन आ गया था एंड देन द अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट स्पाइक्ड. दिस अनदर स्पाइक इज आफ्टर व्हाट, राइट, आफ्टर दिस पॉइंट जहाँ पे एब्सोल्यूट लो हो गया था अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट एंड देन इट स्पाइक्ड. अभी क्या है, अभी यहाँ पे एक लो हो चुका है एंड इट इज गोइंग बैक अप. सो व्हाट डज दैट मीन कि अब ऐसा कुछ हो सकता है कि मान के चलो 2025 में there is some kind of massive crisis and then again the unemployment rate peaks. So this is a point that hey, when the unemployment rate is very low, it kind of indicates that you know what, everything is hunky dory, that everything is going really well in the economy, everyone is employed, everyone is spending money, good things are happening, private consumption is picking up, वगैरह वगैरह. So therefore अब हो क्या सकता है from this point, it can only go down, right? So therefore unemployment rate being absolutely low indicates a higher chance of recession. So this is like a causation, it's not typically a correlation. So this is one point that you can check. Second key point, what I had done an analysis of, there is a macro video that I did last week. You can check it out here. This is the same data point that I had explained there. So you can go and check the recession probability. So इसमें if you actually check some of the latest data points, what you will realize is कि यार यहाँ पे देखो, जैसे for example August 2023 में या October 2023 में the recession probability was higher. And यहाँ पे then it became really low in March of 2024 and यहाँ पे अब ये बढ़नी शुरू हो गई, right? And it is going up and up. The important point to note here is this, that see, यहाँ पे भी तो था, right? You guys were investing in the stock market in October of 23. ऐसा नहीं कि आपका वो पैसा डूब गया, right? And खत्म हो गया वो पैसा. No. So even if this goes up, so right now it's indicated that next year the recession probability is somewhere around 65%. So I will link that chart again here. Please go and check. So it is somewhere around 65%. This will scare you कि recession आने वाला है, this, that stuff. But if I have to summarize 2-3 points right now, the most important key takeaway that I will give you is that see, there is a good chance that markets might correct by 20% and you need to be prepared for this fall. Now, if you are prepared for this fall, then you don't need to be worried about it. If you're not prepared for this fall, then आप panic करने लग जाओगे. ऐसा लगेगा आपको कि अच्छा 20% fall आ गया है and JP Morgan had released a report. अब तो 50 आएगा, 60 आएगा. ऐसा कुछ नहीं होने वाला अभी. For those type of situations to happen, some uncertain event needs to happen, and that cannot be factored into our analysis as of now. So to cut the long story short, you don't need to worry about recession probability and इस तरीके के articles देख के घबराओ मत कि सब बर्बाद हो जाएगा and all that stuff. Just figure out a way to handle this 20% correction fall. Now let me tell you where the exact problem is and why there could be a stock market slowdown, right? Please understand this section really well. कि देखो, massive correction more than 20% is unlikely to happen from this point, at least for the next 6 to 12 months. That is unlikely to happen. But a sideways movement is very likely. And let me explain it to you systematically why. So there is something called as the term premium. Okay, so term premium simply means that, and the explanation with you, yes, I'll just read it for you. That the term premium is small means that investors are settling for a very low return on long-term holding term bonds. Example से समझते हैं कि for example, let's say that you do a 10-year FD and उसमें you will be expecting कि यार मेरे को 6.5, 7 तो मिलेगा, right? Because I'm locking my money for like 10-year period. On the flip side, if it starts happening कि आपको 1-year bond FD rate 7% है and long-term FD rate आपका 6.9% है, then does it make much sense to put your money locked away for such a long period of time? No. what you would do is that you will start making short-term investment decisions as an investor. So this is what the term premium means, and इसको yield curve inversion के through भी समझा जा सकता है, right? So yield curve inversion means that the return on your long-term bond is lower than your short-term bond, right? So this is a very important point, and we have been in that inverted yield curve stage for a fairly long period of time. Now, this is probably the longest period of time we have been in the inverted yield curve stage, and no one knows what the outcome of this yield curve inversion for such a long period of time would be. So I have tried to decode that. I have tried to speak with a lot of economists. I have tried to speak with a lot of investors, and उनका भी perspective मैंने समझा, and this is what I was able to figure. Now I could convert this into a 1 hour talk, and इसमें I'll write multiple posts because this is a very important concept. But I'll try to condense this really important point in 1.5 minutes to the best of my ability. See, the first key thing is that if short-term investment starts giving more returns compared to long-term investments, then the volatility in the market goes high, right? So this will always be the case. So what you can expect going forward is कि जैसे for example या Nifty चल रहा है 25 पे, then it will fall to 23, then it will move to 27, then it will again fall to 25, then it will move to like 29, then so on and so forth. So this volatility, this entire thing, right? This sine wave width, this will be much higher going forward for a substantial period of time. So आप easily whatever decisions or investment decisions that you are making, कि अच्छा अभी मैं जाके XYZ स्टॉक खरीद लेता हूँ. You might buy it. Now the problem will be that it might move so much that you will become uncomfortable. So therefore following diversification is really important, critical, because लोगों की हवा निकल जाती है. Just yesterday I was having chat with my YouTube community member people also. We were talking about like Dream Folks. Dream Folks in a day moved by like 8.5%. SBI card moved by like 4%. And both of these are my portfolio stocks. For the last 3.5, 4 months I was getting like so much commentary कि you know what, SBI card नहीं move हो रहा, ये नहीं हो रहा, आवास नहीं मूव कर रहा. Aavas check, right? Aavas Financiers, since April of 2024, it has given like very good run up, and now people are entering into these type of stocks. So the point I'm trying to tell you is कि इतनी बातें इसलिए बनाई जाती हैं because people do not understand how to handle volatility, and this is not changing. This is where money will be made if you understand how to handle volatility. Second key point is that there is going to be very high sector rotation. In fact, I was listening to a couple of interviews of very big mutual fund managers. They started saying कि you know what, private bank एकदम फुद्दू हैं, बेकार, भाई फालतू के stocks हैं, private bank से हमने तो बेच दी हैं अपनी, right? And आप लोग भी बेच दो. Okay, right? I mean, then genius, please tell me this, that okay, why were you not selling it like 6 months ago? Private banks have been consolidating for 2.5, 3 months. अब जब breakout देने का time आ रहा है, तो now people are playing with the news कि प्राइवेट बैंक्स खराब हैं, कुछ नहीं हो रहा. भाई आप HDFC बैंक के फॉर एग्जांपल आप रेवेन्यूज नंबर्स देख लो. इन द लास्ट 4 years रेवेन्यूज हैव दे डबल्ड? यस. प्रॉफिट्स हैव दे डबल्ड? यस. Has stock price doubled? No, it is sideways. Now I cannot take guarantee when HDFC bank will move, but the important point is that you must at least have like common sense कि यार boss, it will move, right? I mean ITC की आप देखो कहानी. When these type of stocks consolidate, they can consolidate for 3-4 years, but when they give a breakout, आप में नहीं होगी दम कि आप उसको पकड़ लो तब जाके, राइट? व्हेन यू स्टार्ट सीइंग दी स्टॉक्स गिविंग 5, 6, 10% रिटर्न्स अ डे, आप नहीं पकड़ पाओगे लार्ज कैप, राइट? ऑल दी गेन्स विल बी मेड देन. फंड मैनेजर्स का काम ही होता है टू जनरेट एन अल्फा, एंड दे वुड वांट टू बाय थिंग्स चीप. उनको कुछ भी बोलना पड़े उसके लिए, सो दे विल से. सो एनीवेज, आई डोंट वांट टू गेट मोर इनटू दैट. थर्ड की पॉइंट, दैट सी दीज आर इंटरेस्ट रेट मार्जिन्स, व्हिच सिंपली मींस कि अभी इंटरेस्ट रेट इज एट 5.5% इन द यूएस, राइट? एंड अगेन प्लीज गो एंड चेक दिस वीडियो. आई हैड एक्सप्लेन्ड दिस एंटायर कॉन्सेप्ट. And they are getting cut. By 2025, we will be at somewhere around 4%, right? This gives what, right? This gives some kind of fuel to the governments to move the market, right? Now, what do I mean by that? For example, मान के चलो कि recession numbers खराब आते हैं, right? कि अच्छा recession, we are in a severe recession, consumer spending is not moving, this, that stuff. So what is government going to do? Well, government is going to start lending at a lower rate. Now, what is the meaning of lending at a lower rate? It means that by cutting interest rate from 5.5 to 4% really fast, they might do it like next 2 quarters अगर डेटा अच्छा नहीं आया इकोनॉमी का, जीडीपी ग्रोथ का. So then they will cut this really fast, and then they will figure out a way to balance the market. So therefore I'm saying that you will not see, or you are unlikely to see more than a 20% correction from this point. ऐसा कोई बहुत ज्यादा correction नहीं होगा. Just try to figure out a way to handle this by volatility. If you are able to do that really well, then you will make a lot of money. अभी बहुत सारे अच्छे stocks हैं in unlisted space, angel stage. अब जैसे मैंने स्विगी का बनाया था, right? In like ये रहा मेरा portfolio right on Swiggy. In unlisted space, it has gone up. But when I talk about these type of investments, लोग मेरे पीछे पड़ जाते हैं. You are promoting a loss-making company. भाई क्या promote कर रहा हूँ loss-making company? You guys don't use Swiggy. Have you not seen how the Zomato stock has performed? When Zomato IPO'd, was it not loss-making? It stayed loss-making for significant quarters and then it turned around. So यहाँ पे तो clear roadmap है for Swiggy also. Now again, this is not a push. आपने Swiggy खरीदना, आप Swiggy खरीदो. आपको HDB Finance खरीदना, आप HDB Finance खरीदो. आपको HDFC Bank खरीदना, आप HDFC Bank खरीदो. This is your call. Now, in case you are interested in learning, in building more of this knowledge set, you can definitely consider checking out my YouTube member community. It's very well organized. Every day I interact with my YouTube member community via post. I make quick updates about the stock market. So in case you are interested in building that knowledge base, which will help you understand all these points better, definitely do consider joining. And one final tip that I will give you is that you need to be on a multi-asset portfolio now. Now, what is the meaning of multi-asset portfolio? अब लोग बोलेंगे कि आप गोल्ड खरीद लो, आप एफडी लगा लो, right, and all that. No. So basically, a multi-asset portfolio should serve three purposes for you. One is that it should grow your money. Number two, in the event that the market falls, it should have some kind of defense, right? And third is that it should give you some kind of cash flows. Now, for example, to generate cash flows, I am pretty much picking up cash flow real estate, which is tax efficient. How to do it, all that stuff, that's a separate conversation. I'll not get into that on this video. Or you can buy dividend stocks. अब dividend stocks का कोई सिर पैर नहीं होता, right? I mean उसमें dividend मिल रहा है, but stock ही अपने वहाँ पे यार 20% correct कर गया तो क्या करोगे? So therefore, I feel that you need to figure out like bonds investment, right, or real estate in order to generate this cash flow, so that जब 20% गिर जाए market, then you will have some money, right, coming in that you can plow it back. Okay, defense means that you have Hindustan Unilever type of stocks, all that stuff. So that is very much required. And growth के लिए you need to pick stocks that can grow but are not at crazy valuations, right? Once again, right, for example, जैसे आवास है, ड्रीम फोक्स है, उज्जीवन स्मॉल फाइनेंस बैंक है, right? I mean इनकी valuation इतनी नहीं है. जैसे PVR Inox also, right? I mean I have been speaking about that stock. All of these stocks have run up now. When I communicated that Swiggy story 1 or 2 weeks back, so this is of course in growth domain. You're looking for risk adjusted reward. अब जैसे Swiggy है, right? अगर उसमें chance is 100% gain and you might have to sit for like a 20%, 30% loss, right? Notional loss, then the risk reward makes sense. Now, if you're going and picking a ship company, जहाँ पे PE is 100, it's a large cap stock. वहाँ पे what is the chances of growth? The chances of growth might be like 30% and the chances of loss might be like 50%, 60%. That risk reward does not make sense. I hope that this video was useful, insightful in terms of your portfolio planning. If you enjoyed it, do press the like button and I'll see you soon.